Hey guys, welcome to Channel Kids Moral Stories.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in a green valley, there lived a little ant named Annie. Annie was different from other ants, as she had big dreams and ambitions. While her friends were content with scavenging for crumbs and seeds, Annie longed for adventure and exploration. One day, while wandering through the village, Annie saw a tall rubber tree with juicy leaves that seemed to stretch up to the sky. She was fascinated by its height and determined to climb to the top. The thought of reaching the top and seeing the world from a new perspective thrilled her. The other ants laughed at her, saying, "You're too small, Annie. You'll never make it. The tree is too slippery and the wind is too strong." But Annie didn't listen. She was determined to prove them wrong. Annie started climbing, using her tiny mandibles and legs to dig into the bark. But it was harder than she thought. The tree was indeed slippery, and she kept falling, tumbling to the ground. The other ants watched, shaking their heads, thinking, "We told her so." But Annie didn't give up. She kept trying and trying, using all her might. She learned to use the tree's ridges and grooves to her advantage, and she developed a new technique for gripping the bark. As she climbed, she met various creatures who discouraged her, like a snail who said, "You're too fast. Annie, you'll never make it. You'll get tired and give up." A curious bird perched on a branch asked, "What's the point of climbing so high? What will you find up there?" But Annie didn't let their words stop her. She kept climbing, fueled by her determination and curiosity. Finally, after many attempts, many falls, and many doubts, Annie reached the top of the rubber tree. The view was breathtaking. She could see the entire village, the valley, and the surrounding mountains. The leaves were even juicier than she imagined, and the wind carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The other ants were amazed and proud of Annie's achievement. They realized that even the smallest creatures can achieve big things with determination, perseverance, and creativity. Annie's story spread throughout the land, inspiring others to chase their dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. And Annie, the little ant who dared to dream big, became a legend in her own time.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the rolling hills of a lush countryside, there lived a young girl named Maya. Maya was known throughout the village for her remarkable ability to communicate with the natural world. She could understand the songs of birds, the rustling of leaves, and even the gentle hum of the wind. One day, a wise old sage came to the village seeking Maya's help. The sage explained that a great imbalance had befallen the world, and that the only way to restore harmony was through the power of silence. Maya was skeptical at first, but the sage's words resonated deep within her. She knew that silence was not just the absence of sound, but a profound state of being that could reveal hidden truths and connect us to the very essence of existence. Together, Maya and the sage embarked on a journey to explore the power of silence. They traveled to remote mountains, dense forests, and even vast deserts, seeking out the most silent and sacred places on earth. As they journeyed, Maya learned to quiet her mind and listen to the subtle whispers of the universe. She discovered hidden waterfalls, ancient ruins, and secret gardens, each one revealing a deeper understanding of the transformative power of silence. In the stillness of a moonlit night, Maya heard the soft beating of a hummingbird's wings, and in that moment, she understood the delicate balance of life. In the depths of a silent cave, she felt the ancient wisdom of the earth, and in the quiet of a snow-covered forest, she saw the beauty of impermanence. As Maya's understanding of silence grew, so did her ability to communicate with the world around her. She could sense the emotions of those she met, and her words became a balm to their souls. People sought her out for guidance, and her presence brought peace to troubled minds. Eventually, Maya's journey took her to a great city, where the din of human activity seemed to drown out the very possibility of silence. She walked the bustling streets, her heart filled with the power of silence. And as she did, a strange phenomenon occurred. People began to notice her, and as they did, they too began to quiet their minds. The city's noise receded, and for a brief moment, the world was still. In that instant, the city's inhabitants saw the world with new eyes, and their lives were forever changed. And so, Maya's journey came full circle. She had learned the power of silence, and in sharing it with others, she had brought balance to a world in need. From that day forward, Maya roamed the earth, spreading the gift of silence, and wherever she went, peace and harmony followed.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village, nestled beside a dense, enchanting forest, there lived an honest woodcutter named John. John was known throughout the village for his integrity and hard work. Every day, he ventured into the forest to chop wood, which he sold in the village market to support his family. One day, while chopping wood near a sparkling stream, John's axe slipped from his hands and fell into the water. The stream was deep and the current swift, and John could not retrieve his axe. He sat down by the stream, distraught, as his axe was his only means of earning a living. As John sat there, a bright light appeared above the water. Out of the light emerged a beautiful fairy, with shimmering wings and a kind smile. "Why are you so sad, dear woodcutter?" she asked in a gentle voice. John explained his predicament to the fairy, who listened with compassion. "Do not worry," she said. "I will help you." The fairy disappeared beneath the water and emerged a moment later, holding a magnificent golden axe. "Is this your axe?" the fairy asked. John gazed at the golden axe, which was worth a fortune, but he shook his head. "No, that is not my axe," he replied honestly. The fairy smiled and disappeared beneath the water again. She soon reappeared, this time holding a splendid silver axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. John again shook his head. "No, that is not my axe either," he said. The fairy nodded approvingly and dived back into the water once more. When she surfaced, she was holding John's old, worn iron axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. John's face lit up with relief and joy. "Yes, that is my axe," he exclaimed. The fairy was so impressed by John's honesty that she gave him all three axes, the golden, the silver, and his iron one. "Your honesty and integrity deserve a reward," she said, handing him the axes. John returned to the village, and the story of his encounter with the fairy quickly spread. The villagers admired John's honesty and the blessings it brought him. From that day on, John continued his work with even greater joy, grateful for the gifts he had received. The moral of the story is that honesty and integrity are always rewarded in unexpected ways, and they bring true and lasting blessings.